Shalom and welcome back to Flipping Pages, Stirring Sauces. If it is your first time here, welcome. My gratitude to those of you who have liked, shared, subscribed, and commented. It's a short one tonight, and it has been a while, but I've been very busy lately. Taking care of things. But anyway, 2 years ago, I sat somewhere in this house and told you that my ancestors came from both sides of the Atlantic. I didn't read about that in a history book. History would rather that I didn't have that knowledge. That knowledge was given to me by my grandmother when I was a little girl. Even though the oppressors tried to erase our history, it was passed down verbally by our parents and grandparents and their parents and grandparents. I told you that Africa was rising and that Africa was playing by a different playbook, while the oppressors continue to play by the same old playbook. And now Africa is light years ahead of them in what they plan to do with their natural resources and revolutionizing themselves as sovereign nations. And now the oppressors are trying very hard to play catch up, but they will not catch up, because the Creator said 400 years. The 400 years are up, and Africa is charting its own course. And let me see who is going to stop them. Even though the oppressors try to erase our history, it was passed down, like I said, verbally by our ancestors. And, you know, when I had that conversation with my grandmother, it was such an insignificant conversation that I had had with her. And I kind of stored it away somewhere in the deep recesses of my mind. And 2 years ago, I got that download, and the conversation with my grandmother came back to me, along with the realization that we have and populated the whole entire earth prior to the oppressors arriving. Some people will tell you that we gave birth to them. We did not. We educated and socialized them when they came through that portal in the Caucasus Mountains from another dimension. Their motive is always to steal, kill, and destroy. They do not possess anything of their own on this planet because they are not from here. Just like today, they steal everything from us and make it their own. They incorrectly take our words and nuances and use them out of context and turn something positive into a negative. For example, the word woke. They have no idea what it means or how to use it, but they constantly overuse it in the wrong context and in the wrong meaning. So something that was very positive for us, they've taken it and turned it into something very negative because they cannot come up with anything on their own. Whatever we have, They steal it and make it their own. Now, if Charles the First and Second looked like me, how do you explain Charles the Third? Imposter, masquerading as nobility? If Elizabeth the First looked like me, how do you explain Elizabeth the Second? Imposter, masquerading as nobility. If you peel off the first layers of a lot of those paintings and artwork they have hanging in their homes and museums, you will discover that the true nobility looked like me. You see, we have been putting it out there that their story is not our story, and they have rewritten history to serve their purpose. They made us all Africans because if we are all Africans, then we couldn't lay claim to the land that is rightfully ours. What happened to the black nobility that populated the earth? There's something called the Spanish Inquisition. Those people who were massacred, persecuted, and driven off their land, what did they look like? The simple answer is they looked like me. Swarty is a word that you should become familiar with. The people who were put in the gas chambers in Germany, what did they really look like? Swarty is a word that you need to become familiar with. Tawny, get to know that word. Get familiar with the words Shaka, Europia, Asmar, Swarty, Dub, Duma, Blackman, Sword, Stuart, Jacobites, Doug. They are now admitting that native black people who were already in the Americas were also enslaved and sold as African slaves. Why are they admitting it? We are in the information age. These things can no longer be hidden. And once we've put it out there that the indigenous people to the Americas looked like me, they had no other choice but to tell us the truth. Because once we demand the truth from them, they must tell us the truth. And they may wrap it up in a lie, but they must tell us the truth. Their history erased and they've erased and hid our history. And the colonizers are now trying to make excuses for what they purposely did in order to steal our land, our resources, and now they're making excuses for what that was done, making it look like it was something that was just happened over time, or it wasn't done out of wickedness or cruelty or greed, but it was just by happenstance. Nothing they do is by happenstance. And you have homework. Get to know about the Dawes Act and what it entailed for the indigenous or native people to the Americas, to Europe, to Spain, who looked like me. And our history is still there. And once the Vatican falls and we get into the 50 miles of our stuff that they have in the bowels of the Vatican, then more of our history will come out. They know who we are. They've known our history all along. The only person or the only people it was hidden from was us. And now the information age has arrived, and they can no longer cover up our history and lie to us and tell us we're all Africans. There is no such thing as an African American. And in the Caribbean, we were never referred to as African Caribbean. We were referred to as Negroes. And there's no such thing as an African American. You have, because there was intermingling of the races, the people who were brought to the Americas as slaves, because we shared same heritage, same social norms and customs. And when we were forced into this pigeonhole that they put us in, there were Native Americans marrying the slaves that were brought to the Americas from Africa. Some people deny the slave trade. The slave trade was very real. It happened. But not everybody who look like me are descendant from slaves. Some of us were here before the oppressors arrived, and we're still here. They just put us all in the same paper bag to fulfill their desire for control and greed, and they try to erase us, eliminate us. But if we're not here, this planet will not be here, because this planet was made for us. And it doesn't matter how hard they try to get rid of us. The harder they try, the more we rise. I am going to leave it there for now. Please give me a thumbs up. And please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment. Until next time, I give you my peace. I give you my Ahab. Shalom.